Well, what do you know? It's time for another show. It's actually the last day of July. It's Wednesday, July 31st. And we wake up tomorrow on August 1st, which back in 1834, it was a Monday, which we celebrated for almost a century, just August Monday, not knowing what it really was. It was the day that the emancipation of slavery was declared. August 1st, 1834 was a Monday. And so many years after that, we celebrated August Monday. We're going to wake up tomorrow on August Thursday, but it's okay. It's raining downtown, cats and dogs, and the forecast calls for rain, thunder, etc., etc. And I say to some who were complaining, no rain, no food. But it's time for another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates, and you're locked on to WINNFM 98.9 on the FM dial. We have three very special guests in the house, and they have lots of stuff to unload to you. So please stick and stay, no going away. We're going to take a moment to give credit to our sponsors, then we'll be right back.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Once again, saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our viewers and listeners out there in the various time zone. We had a little thing from Miss Rosemary Donald up in New York, says she's locked on. So good morning to you. Guess what we have for you, Rosemary, this morning? We have three very distinctive personalities in the studio. We have a Dr. Marissa Carty, we have Abby Bego, and a Wayne Clark. And they're members of the SKN, that's St. Kitts and Nevis Move Committee. Right? And they're here to explain to you exactly what represent the platform they're on. So I'm going to let you guys decide, well, you introduce yourself and decide who to go first. Right? So it's up to you guys.
Pleasant good morning, Socrates, and to your listening audience. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to share about the SKN Moves program this morning.
And WINNFM.
Sorry?
And WINNFM, because it's the platform.
Oh, yes, at WINNFM. Yes, thank you, sir. So the SKN Moves program is actually an initiative that was encouraged to be established from the CARICOM level. I don't know if any of our listeners or yourself would have heard about Jamaica Moves. But it's not really?
Not really.
Okay, so it's mainly a physical activity program that was established in Jamaica under the Ministry of Health in Jamaica.
Okay.
And Minister Tufton was very much a champion of that activity, helping the Jamaicans to be more physically active. He then took this activity to the CARICOM heads of government meeting, and they shared what they were doing. And in 2018, the CARICOM decided that this was an initiative that they would like to share among the other Caribbean member states. And so they created Caribbean Moves as the umbrella organization. And then under that, each island, each member of CARICOM would be expected to establish their own island chapter, right? Mm-hmm. So SKN Moves is the St. Kitts and Nevis chapter.
That gives clarity.
Yes. So what it is really is a health campaign aimed at reducing the burden of non-communicable diseases in the Federation by creating a healthy lifestyle culture centered on three main pillars: healthy eating practices, regular physical activity, and encouraging persons to get regular health checks, age-appropriate health checks. And so over the last 5 years, the program has been engaged in a number of community activities. We've established a number of different programs throughout the SKN Moves initiative. And also we've established a lot of partnerships with other individuals. And this is why I have my two colleagues who are part of the committee here with us this morning. So I will now give them an opportunity to introduce themselves and just to give a little bit of an idea of what their role is as part of the SKN Moves committee.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, good everybody. My name is Abby Bejo, and as Dr. Kati would have explained, I'm part of the SKN Moves Committee. So in essence, I'm representing civil society. So I represent Lake Health and Wellbeing, which is a public health NGO, but I'm also representing the St. Kitts and Nevis NCD Alliance. So my role on the committee, as I said, is to give the civil society perspective on the initiatives that the SKN Moves Committee are implementing. But also as Lake Health and Wellbeing, we have an ongoing campaign called You're Sweet Enough. And so we partnered with the SKN Moves Committee.
Is that the shirt you're wearing there?
So that's the shirt that I'm wearing, You're Sweet Enough.
Okay.
So as part of our collaboration with the Ministry of Health and SKN Moves, as part of the SKN Moves program, we have a healthy drinking week. And so we are responsible for that week. And as part of that week, we're encouraging people to drink healthily, reduce their sugar-sweetened beverage consumption, reduce their alcohol consumption, and to drink water instead. So in a nutshell, that's my role on the SKN Moves Committee. So I feel like you have a question coming along. I see the wheels turning.
I'm going to hold it until Mr. Clark
Okay, so I'll pass on to Mr. Clark to introduce himself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wayne Clark, and I am a part of the DTE Fitness, as well as I do community service through the fitness that I provide as a service. My role in SKN Move is more or less providing physical activities and the introduction of different ways in which we can all be physically able in terms of people who have mobility problems, people who are not physically active, but just making sure that we have enough information from the physical fitness standpoint so that persons can be able to have that longevity in terms of moving the body, not only in terms of cardiovascularly, but in terms of doing strength training and stuff like that, which would provide significant benefit in terms of longevity.
Okay, with this collaboration, how long have you been active, as a platform? Because this is the first time I'm hearing. So I'm asking for the folks who don't know. I would like to have information on how to get in touch and, to help spread the outreach. Okay. By the way, good morning to Brenda O'Neill. person different part of the world, they're just logging from time to time.
Okay, so the SKN Moves program was established in 2019 on August 9th. So we've been around for almost 5 years. However, over that time, what we have been doing is building out the program. And so I could understand why some persons would say that they haven't really heard about SKN
You could move
Moves.
too much prior to 2019, we had COVID.
Exactly.
So you could curtail the movement.
Right. But
We
then
accept
the
that.
thing about it, though, is that even though we did have COVID in 2020, in 2020 we were still able to launch one of our programs, which is the Healthy Business Challenge, that we are now seeing grow as
Fruition?
well.
Okay.
Yes, so we have, for that, I could speak a little bit to that. So the Healthy Business Challenge is basically a workplace wellness program that we are encouraging within our business places. Where they are encouraged to establish a wellness committee within the business place, and then they would participate in a number of events. We give them a criteria. So they have a healthy eating criteria, physical activity criteria, and a general wellness criteria. Okay. Under each of those areas, they can choose different activities that they can implement within their business place or within the community that they serve. And then once they do that, then they're able to gain points towards being established as or being designated as a healthy business. And then at the end of the year, the business that would have gained the most points would be designated as a national healthy business. Okay. So for the last 3 years, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has been able to have that designation. This year, thankfully, we now have 6 businesses that are participating in this challenge, and we're hoping that as SKN Moves continues to grow, we would have more businesses participating.
Okay. Are there any age demographic that you prioritize?
Actually, no. It's across the age spectrum, the health span. So therefore, we have representative actually from early childhood on the committee. We do not have a representative from aging as yet, and that's one of the areas that we probably definitely need to tap into. But we do provide activities across the lifespan.
One of the reasons I ask is because we have the tendency to believe that it's only when you get a bit older that you need these to be exercising and eating properly.
Right.
Right? I would like you to reach out to the taxi fraternity.
Okay.
We have a tendency to just drive, sit behind the wheel. And it's a long day of inactivity.
Right.
Then you go home and it's like 10 dumplings and stuff like that. Now, we've come along from 10 dumplings, right? But in terms of what we eat, and there's a serious health problem across the spectrum. But that's why I asked if there were any particular group, because there are people who suffer with certain social maladies. They become, okay, we need to work in you're diabetic and stuff like that. Right. It's across the spectrum. And it's very good because you find you should start from that younger age, get people thinking physically, consciously about their health. And that goes into their lifestyle as you go older.
Well, I'm actually happy that you did mention the taxi fraternity, because that's one of the areas that we know in terms of, and I know not all taxi drivers are males, but men's health.
It's a fraternity.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but one of the areas that we're really going to be trying to get into doing more in terms of health education and health outreach is with men and men's health. So that would definitely be an opportunity for us to start.
Okay.
That.
I can make contact point. I'm the president of the Sinkers Taxi Cooperative Society.
Yes.
And there are two other entities. There's the Sinkers Taxi Association and the Omega. So the 3 presidents met yesterday in a particular forum. So I can help you with that.
I would appreciate that.
Okay.
Yes.
You would mention your organization while you're making the presentation. I didn't quite get it.
Okay.
I see the shirts and I'm like, so let's talk about that.
Okay, so our organization is Lake Health and Wellbeing.
is
So Lake,
L-A-K-E?
L-A-K-E,
The name? Okay.
Health and
Yeah.
Wellbeing.
All
So
right.
we're a public health NGO. We're based here in St. Kitts, and really we aim to improve the health and well-being of our local, regional, online communities. And we do that in a number of ways. Partnerships is one of them. So we partner with key stakeholders to implement projects and programs. We carry out research to try and understand some of the health challenges that people are faced with. We did a project on COVID-19 and persons living with chronic health conditions and how that affected their ability to thrive. We also did a project on fibroids. We also have a project right now in schools where we're raising awareness of menstrual health issues. So we're targeting young boys and girls and teaching them about issues around period poverty, period issues. We are forming the St. Kitts and Nevis NCD Alliance, which is a group of NGOs working together to tackle non-communicable diseases. We have the project You're Sweet Enough, which is encouraging persons to think about their drinking habits and to reduce their sugar-sweetened beverage consumption. Drink more water. So we have a range of projects that we're working on, and it's always a pleasure to work with key stakeholders like the Ministry of Health and people like Wayne to try and raise awareness, because we know it's a whole of society approach when it comes to improving the health of St. Kitts and Nevis, and so we all have to work together really to achieve that.
Last week, part of my discussion with other persons, and I need you guys to address this, the parents who diligently pack their children's lunch bag daily with all the box drinks and all that stuff. I took a young man out for a little treat last Saturday for his birthday. And when he showed up, there was a Coke in his hand. Bottle of Coke. So I called his mom and said, "Why are you giving him Coke?" She said, "I didn't give him. I don't know where he got it." You know? And these are things that we tend to overlook. It's normal. It's not. And we find too many of the children grow up with certain behavioral patterns that we can't really define. It's based on what they eat and drink. Those box drinks have to go.
We would agree. We would agree. I think, it's interesting because I think sometimes when people are thinking about adopting a healthy lifestyle, they think about their diet, as in food. Yes. They think about exercise, but they don't think about what they drink.
Consume.
Yes. So, and they forget that a lot of these drinks have a very high calorie, have a lot of sugar in them. And then when you think of alcohol and all the, health impacts of alcohol as well, that's also negative. So we would encourage parents to really try and be mindful when they're packing their lunch kits for their children, to really try and put healthier beverages into those lunch kits. So the waters, your coconut water, and really get away from the box drinks, get away from the sodas, because you'll be surprised at how much sugar is in those drinks.
How would you propose to reach them across the spectrum? Is there a program designed for that specifically? Because it's a detrimental thing that we observe every day.
Well, we've been doing the Your Sweet Enough project since about 2021. So we have been into schools to educate children about healthy drinking. The Ministry of Health is also working on this area. They're looking at policies as well to try and encourage the public to reduce their consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages. So I think Dr. Kati can speak to what they're doing in the Ministry of Health. But like I said, we would just encourage everybody, so from parents, the school system as well, to try and be mindful of what's happening within the school system. So what are you selling inside schools? What are you selling outside of schools?
The vendors
so
who are
the vendors that are outside.
They need to be educated also?
We need to educate the vendors as well. Because when you think about it, the vendors are like, the nurturers. They're feeding our children. And so as the nurturers, they really should take pride in wanting to feed children healthy food. We're not saying we're trying to take away your business.
So the education is crucial.
The education is crucial, because really we can provide options to vendors as to how they can create healthier snacks and healthier drinks to be selling to children.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so yes, the Ministry of Health is currently working on developing a policy for sugar-sweetened beverages. And as Ms. Beho would have mentioned, Abby, that one of a number of the areas that we are looking at is working with our food vendors and the school environment to ensure that our children are being given the best healthy options as possible, especially as it pertains to drinks and even some snacks as well. But one of the things that we do recognize is that just telling persons to provide healthier snacks or healthier drinks for individuals is not going to work. We have to provide them with the training, the capacity building, the education, so that they would be able to know exactly, okay, what is considered that healthy drink or that healthy product, and then be able to see how they can incorporate that in what they're able to present to the children.
Before we come to the handsome hunk, we're going to pause. You know the name?
I take it.
You take it? Okay. We're going to pause to give credit to our sponsors, and we will be right back.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip. I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah, yeah. Right now a Magnum for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Welcome back to our viewers and listeners. We're in the studio today with Dr. Socrates and other members of the SKN Move Committee, and we were about to hear from Mr. Wayne Clark. Did I get it right?
Yes, it is.
Correct. I almost said hands-on, but Wayne Clark, and we're speaking about some of the challenges you would have noticed in terms of people maintaining active lifestyle.
One of the problems that we have in the society is the way in which we view health. And I think, from times gone by, we would have known to go and do our physical health checks and, known to try our best to eat more natural foods or food that has more benefits. But in terms of physical activity, we know that more people are just, as you say earlier with the taxi drivers, more people would just do jobs where they are just sitting. The children, they come from school, they are not enough physical activity to engage them, unless you have children who play sports and stuff like that. But there are a certain population of people who don't play sports, are not into that arena. And we really want to make sure that we get those persons the information and the importance of why we should physically do things and move the body and stuff. For instance, NCDs, all these non-communicable disease, it's very much on a rise in St. Kitts. The statistics has shown that. And,
namely?
Pardon me?
Namely?
Diabetes, hypertension,
everything. Even a lot more males are getting prostate.
Prostate, yeah.
Yes, and one of that reason is just we just sit
sedentary
and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So my expression of what physical activity is, it's doing cardiovascular stuff. For children, you try your best to do games with them and stuff like that, get them into some camp where they can do physical activity. For adults, the gyms, farm little groups, especially these jobs, the corporate society, as well as government departments and stuff, get more involved in physical activity like group stuff.
What do you say to a mom? She's working and she says to you she don't have enough time to go and exercise. She used to take walks in the morning or sometimes in the afternoon, but because of her work schedule, she don't have enough time.
There's always time. If we consider the amount of time we spend on our smartphones, we can cut some of that time. We can just start with 10 minutes. 10 minutes can give you a great deal, especially if you are doing physical activity in the sense of cardiovascular and strength training. So let's say you do 5 minutes of just cardio, maybe you do some little skip and movements in the house, and then you can get little water bottles filled in with sand and. But if you feel that you can find time, I'm not gonna make no excuse. There's always time.
It usually takes me 40 minutes from where we live in Sandy Point to the top of the fortress. Nobody want to walk with me. One piece.
You're on your own.
Yeah. But sometimes, like now it's raining, it's a bit dangerous because the road is wet.
Slick, yeah.
Then you skip one day, you skip two, and it's hard to go back. So you have to be consistent mentally in knowing that this is your health. I'm told that one of the first things that leaves a person as they age are the legs. So you have to maintain that. When you become a diabetic and you have challenges that you may lose a limb, and that really compromises you. So before you get to that stage, you have to deal with the here and now.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying the muscle is what gives you longevity. We eating all the time, but if you're not doing anything to burn those calories that the body takes on, your insulin would
imbalance.
be, everything will be out of balance. I tell people about the endocrine system, the importance of that, your lymphatic system, and when you exercise, you target those systems, and those systems do a lot of work when it comes to the body as well.
When you have all this information to share, you just can't come forward.
I know. I wanted to just follow up on what Wayne was saying regarding time and exercise. So, in the public health, there is the concept of a short movement break. And so what we encourage people to do, if you feel like you don't have the time to exercise, so if you're working and you're in an office, we also encourage the school environment as well to do short movement breaks throughout the day. So which means getting up, whether it's for a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and doing something. So some kind of stretching, some type of moving around, and that you can easily fit into your day. So when you decide, okay, I need to go to the bathroom, you get up, stretch, do something, and
a bathroom break?
Yeah, you could do your bathroom break, your water break. You take that as an opportunity to do a little bit of exercise. For schools, we'd encourage them to do something, assemblies, little movement break. During class period time, do a little short movement break with the kids. And in that way, you can easily incorporate some form of physical activity into your day so that it doesn't feel like you have to do an extra thing. You're just incorporating it into your day. And I know Dr. Carty wanted to add.
I was going to mention that same thing. But then also, as Socrates mentioned, the working mom who seems like she doesn't have any time. What we seem to think is that physical activity has to take the form of either going to the gym or going outside and walking and so forth. But physical activity can take many forms. And even within the home, you can find things to do, even as you are doing your work in the home. So, for example, if some persons prefer to sit down and fold the clothes, stand up and fold the clothes. If you prefer to sit down and do the washing, if you don't have a washing machine, then you can stand up and do that. So if you have a garden outside, going out in the garden and spending a half an hour out in the garden is also another way that you can get that physical activity in. So for those individuals who seem like they may be too busy, yes, the movement break is one option that you can do to get that physical activity in. But even when you're in the home, you can also find other areas where you can get moving. Even if you're walking from one room to another, if you're just trying to sweep the home or whatever, you could put on some music. I've seen it. You put on some music and you actually maybe dance while you're doing the home chores,
awesome.
right? So these are other options that persons can incorporate in order to get that physical activity done. Moderate physical activity for 30 minutes is the daily recommended amount for maintaining health. Individuals who want to do a little bit more, for example, if you want to lose weight or so forth, then you're encouraged to do a little bit more, 40 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour of more strenuous activity. But in order to just maintain health, 30 minutes of moderate exercise, moderate movement is
and you don't have to do it all at the same time. So you could do like 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, so it doesn't feel like a huge task.
Exactly.
But it still have to be that combination of
662-0989. We get the lines open to get your way in on this conversation. We would love to hear your contributions. You have the SKN Move Committee. You have Dr. Socrates, and we have a caller to speak. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hey, good morning, King. Good morning, host.
Morning, sir. What though?
How are you doing? Everything good?
It's wonderful. How is it downtown? Weather-wise?
Wet.
Wet is good. Wet is good. No in the food. Anyway, let's hear you.
But it's good. I rather like the topic of which you're on, and most of the time, all of the time, we like to have an excuse not to do the things that we should do. And we do the things that we should not do. I will tell you this. Everyone, minimum, should walk at least a half an hour a day, differently to how they walk from the bedroom to the kitchen. You could get out of your house 15 minutes away from your house. When you look at the watch, turn around 15 minutes.
Half an hour?
Cover one half an hour. And if you feel to extend that, you can also do that sometime.
But not at the same normal pace or rate of walking. Not at the same normal pace you would have. You would increase your pace.
High-speed walking, 15 minutes.
Yep.
And that will make sure that your breath and your rhythm stay in pace, so you wouldn't get too exhausted. So you try that on a 15-minute basis. You look at your watch, you see 15 minutes, it's time to go back home. Then you go back home, or you could pass for maybe 5 minutes and then go back home. When you reach back home, you would have done one half an hour. If you feel like to add another 5 minutes to that, then you're good to go. So the thing is, making an excuse is really no excuse.
I'm glad to hear you.
I met a young fella the other day, and when I looked down on his foot, his big toe went. And then there's another one who foot cut off from the left side. I mean, and everyone, it can happen to anyone. It does not matter the age. We just have to do things differently. And our hygiene must be prepared to take and inspect our body, inspect our feet, and make sure that we check our sugar level, check our blood pressure. We need to check and examine ourselves, because these things, we are very vulnerable. Continue to educate the people. And one thing I must remind people, for those who are walking on the road, make sure you put on something like a white top, a white T-shirt, because it's very difficult to see when you're black. You can dress in all black if you're going up the mountain and so on, but while you're on the road,
on the main road,
trafficking,
okay,
wear something that the drivers can see you. I know you can see yourself, but you need the drivers to see you so that they will not be able to run you over and give no foolish excuse.
Quick question.
Exercise is very important.
Quick question. What do you think about the suggestion that they reach out to the taxi fraternity?
Well, they could reach out to the taxi fraternity, because most of them, they sit down, they talk, and they drive and so on. But at the same time...
But not you, because you're a taxi driver.
Someone to do. Come back?
You're a taxi driver. You say most of them.
No. I do exercise.
Point.
I am a self-motivate and self-disciplined person to do that.
I know that.
So I don't need anyone to encourage me to do that. I never, when I was growing up, I never had someone to drive me. If you drive me, you're going to slow me down. When I say drive, not physically drive, if you push me to do things, you're going to slow me down. I know that I should do certain things, I move myself in the position to do them. So I don't need that kind of encouragement.
Okay.
Even though I will say thank you, and while you encourage me, practicing you to encourage somebody else. So I know that I need to exercise, and I do exercise. If not, I'll be out of the game.
Okay.
And you say, if you can't come up, you must go down. So I have to exercise. Once you exercise, you'll have
Thank you. If you can't come up, you go down. Yes.
Going down.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's a reminder. All right. Who wants to take it on? Respond. The lines are still open, okay? 6620989.
I can respond to that. So I'm grateful for the caller for mentioning, how easy it is to get in that 30 minutes of the 15 minutes one way and back as well. But one of the programs that we have as part of the health promotion unit is the chronic disease self-management program. And actually, physical activity and how we can incorporate physical activity is one of the toolkits, one of the tools that they mention within this program. So the CDSMP program, what it does is it helps individuals to manage their non-communicable diseases, if they are, or it also teaches individuals who are at risk how they can prevent themselves from getting these diseases. And it's a list of 13 tools that they go through. As I said, physical activity is one, nutrition is another, sleep is another. And so, but the one I wanted to mention is the action plan. Because what individuals are encouraged to do is make an action of something that they want to accomplish over a week's period and actually work towards that. That target. And majority of the individuals, most of the times, when they create their action plan, they usually create something around physical activity or healthy eating. And so, again, this is just another program that we have that we are trying to put out into the community so that persons can learn or be educated about how they can change their lifestyle so it's a more healthy lifestyle. Okay.
Don't forget, before you leave, to leave some contacts for people who might be listening. I want to get in touch with you. Can you speak to us more about where You're Sweet Enough? Is that it?
Yeah, the campaign?
Yes.
Okay, so You're Sweet Enough is a campaign really that looks at two things. So we're looking at how the public can get healthier through healthy drinking. So we're looking at trying to encourage the public to reduce their consumption of these sweetened beverages and to drink more water instead. And then we're also advocating for policy. So that's the second phase of the project. So we're advocating.
What does that program look like?
So we raise awareness. So we do webinars, workshops. We've done work in schools. We did like a healthy dance competition in schools. And so schools got involved. We had like 13 different schools involved.
Really?
Yeah. So they all had to, we have a jingle called, Du jour provided the vocal for that jingle, so you might have heard it. Drink some water, share some love, tell your body you're sweet enough. Anyway, so we have a jingle. The young kids had to choreograph a dance to that jingle, and so the idea there was to teach children the message through dance. So we did that in schools. We've done workshops with civil servants. We've done workshops with non-profit organizations all around healthy drinking and encouraging people to reduce their sugar consumption. We've done some work with the Bar Association, so that's lawyers, and doing some educational work with lawyers.
Yeah, I can see you targeting lawyers because, like taxi drivers, are mainly sedentary. Long hours of work behind the desk, etc., etc.
Yeah, so we did so. But we also worked with them around thinking through, we also need policy. So their role in terms of the policy development and legislation process around healthy food policies. So we worked with them around that. So we've done a range of different activities to encourage the public to reduce their sugar consumption, but also to advocate for the policies around sugar-sweetened beverage taxation, so to tax sugar-sweetened beverages to reduce purchases and to reduce consumption, school nutrition policies, so to encourage the schools to create a healthy school environment where you reduce the exposure to sugar-sweetened beverages as well. And then we're also advocating for front-of-package warning labels. Really, these are labels that can be put on the front of not just beverages, but on the front of foods that very easily tell a person if if a product is high in sugar, high in salt, high in fat.
So that's where the legislation comes in?
Yeah, basically, that's where the legislation comes in. So the project is twofold. So it's around policy, but it's also around encouraging the public to change their behavior and educating the public.
We were talking about folks who find it difficult financially to have that healthy, optimum lifestyle.
Right.
Can you speak to us about that, based on your experience, your interaction with folks in society?
Simple carbohydrates and foods of such are easily bought. So like the romaine, the ramen, and those stuff, you would find a lot more people, and the same as the box drinks, these sweet stuff. I think what needs to be done is more campaign of the collaboration of health checks, nutrition, physical activity. We need a lot more people on board with that. I'm happy that you said that the Taxi Association is willing to have that, collaboration now. But that's what we need. We need people to be more responsible in the care of what our community needs. And
do you speak to organic foods?
Organic foods, they're around. We have a lot of that. But again, sometimes you would tell people, go and buy here and there. There's always that financial talk which still comes.
Okay. Speak with the farming community who focuses mainly on going organically. Because a lot of stuff that's recommended, they laden with chemicals, pesticides, etc., they are detrimental to health.
Very much so.
So you can be eating the right thing based on what you told, lettuce, etc. Right. Somebody mentioned romaine lettuce. But the thing is, if it's not grown organically, you're really damaging your health. So this is a component we have to look at. We go to the market sometimes, we buy produce that's not really local, it's actually imported. You don't know the source of it. Right? So it's genetically modified versus organic.
That's why one of the things is to make sure you wash your food. So you use vinegar, you use baking soda, and you wash. So like broccolis and stuff like that, before I use those stuff, I make sure I soak them.
So this is also critical to a healthy lifestyle.
At least it would
when I pass a mango tree, I reach up and grab it. The only thing I throw away is the seed. I eat except stem. I eat everything, skin everybody. But we know that they're not really sprayed with herbicides and stuff like that. But other stuff that we buy and eat, because it's really holistic. What you eat, what you ought to eat, how you're supposed to get that level of exercise so you can maintain that balance.
I think what makes it difficult for some individuals is that for some reason to eat healthy seems to be more expensive than to eat unhealthily. And that is a fact. You find that a lot of the fruits and vegetables, whether organic, grown locally, or imported, are generally more expensive than the ultra-processed foods, meaning the things that you get in your cans, in your packages, in your boxes. And so you find that in order to budget, persons will tend to lean towards the less expensive items than going for the more expensive items. One of the things that we are trying to encourage is working with your budget in such a way that you can purchase more fruits and vegetables, but also from a Ministry of Health or policy point of view, seeing what we can do to help in that area as well. It's still in discussion. It's nothing that I can say is concrete, but we do realize that finding a way to make the healthier foods more affordable for individuals would be a benefit for our nation in general.
Okay. Let's pause one more time to give credit to our sponsors, giving CJ's credit. And the clock ticks on. We'll be right back.
Right
as summer begins at TDC. Celebrate Culturama's 50th anniversary with unbeatable savings at TDC St. Kitts and Nevis Home and Building Depot. With Berger's Hardware Hustle. Purchase 2 gallons or more of Berger Royale, weatherproof or 404 paint for a chance to win a $1,000 shopping spree. Dive into our indoor and outdoor furniture specials and cool them down AC units and fans. No duty, no VAT. Plus, get 20% off all back-to-school items from now until August 31st. Shop online for even more deals at shoptdcgroup.com. Transform your home this Culturama 50th with a home renovation loan from TDC Financial Services. The ultimate summer begins at TDC. Visit us today and let the savings begin. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details. Together we succeed.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
To our viewers and listeners, we got 11:48 and the clock is ticking. And I know for a fact that half of the item these folks came to discuss, they have not really touched. I see folders opened. But Dr. Carty, want to speak about the 5th anniversary activities? Let's focus on that the best we can.
Thank you so much. So this year, 2024, the SKN Moves program is celebrating 5 years. We began our 5-year anniversary celebrations in March with the launch of our slogan competition and our jingle competition. We were able to have a winner of our slogan competition, so therefore for this campaign, our slogan is "Every movement counts to a healthier you. Health checks, diet and exercise, get in the groove with SKN Moves." The slogan competition was done among primary school children in grades 5 and 6. So that slogan was written by Miss Janaya France of Beach Island Primary in grade 5. So she was the winner of that. And then we also had a jingle competition for the SKN Moves program in general. And that jingle competition yielded 3 responses, but the winner was Mr. Cleon Richardson of Kamari Music. Unfortunately, I didn't give you a copy of the jingle so that you could play for us. that was my fault. I'll take responsibility for that. But we would have launched the jingle during our press conference for the SKN Moves anniversary activities on July 9th. Persons were able to listen to there, and then during our Health Expo on August 9th, which is the actual anniversary, we're going to be having a Health Expo in the Independence Square from 9 to 5 next Friday.
Next Friday, okay.
Next Friday from 9 to 5. We will then be giving the prizes for the slogan competition and the jingle competition as well. Now, as part of the anniversary activities, we are having what we refer to as the 7-week campaign. So from August 1st all the way down to September 20th, we're going to be having different activities, health-related activities each week. So during the first week, we have our breastfeeding week, and breastfeeding is a campaign that happens every year worldwide. It's to bring awareness and provide education on breastfeeding. So this year the theme is Closing the Gap, Breastfeeding Support for All. And on August 1st, they will have the opening of the Breastfeeding Week by the Minister of Health. And then throughout the month of August, they're going to be hosting a number of interviews, as well as they're going to be producing a breastfeeding video videos that will be shown across the island in different locations. On August 9th, as part of the Health Expo as well, they're going to be having what they refer to as a stop and chat. So they're just going to be having conversations with individuals within the Bastia and Charlestown area, interacting with the community and getting an understanding of what the community know and believe about healthy breastfeeding. As part of the 7-week campaign as well, the nutrition program within the Ministry of Health will be engaging in a Lose It to Win It weight loss challenge. So what they're going to be doing for that is encouraging participants to lose.
Pardon? Okay. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Right. So they're going to be encouraging participants to adjust their lifestyle, increase their activity intake, eat healthy meals so that they can have a healthier lifestyle going forward. But they're also going to be doing a weight loss challenge as part of that wellness activity.
Lose it to win it.
Yes, lose it to win it. And so the weigh-ins for the weight loss challenge is the 7th to the 9th of August. Persons who are interested in participating can come into the Ministry of Health to weigh in. As a matter of fact, there is a registration form, and I'll mention where you can find that registration just after I'm finished. And they can register, and then they will come in for the weighing. And then the nutrition officers and in the nutrition department will then work with these individuals so that they can achieve their goals. I did mention the Health Expo on August 9th. That is an opportunity for persons to showcase, for the SKN Moves program to showcase the 3 pillars of SKN Moves, as I mentioned, healthy eating, physical activity, and age-appropriate health checks. So we'll be having health screenings. We'll be showcasing how different ways persons can engage in physical activity. And then we're also going to be having a number of our NGO partners there as well, who will showcase what they have been doing as well in terms of health-related activities. We are also going to be showcasing other aspects of the Ministry of Health as well. So we'll have environmental health there as well as institutions, so that persons could get a better understanding of what we do from a Ministry of Health perspective. We then have on August 15th our Healthy Business Obstacle Course Challenge. So this is a challenge that we're encouraging our business partners to participate in, our Healthy Business Challenge participants as well. So each organization should have a team of 10 individuals who will then go to an obstacle course challenge. This will be held at the Flow Grounds at 2 p.m.
At Flow Grounds?
At Flow Grounds at 2 p.m. On August 17th, we have our 10K walk, run, and treasure hunt. This is going to begin at 5 a.m. We usually start this activity at the Caribbean Cinemas. And instead of going the route starting along the bypass as we usually do in the past, we're going to be going into the town area because we wanted to add that aspect of the treasure hunt to it. Okay. And so we're going to be using some of our monument sites as part of the treasure hunt as well. So that should be an exciting activity that we would be encouraging persons to participate in. And then, of course, Abby would have mentioned the Healthy Drinking Week. That is usually our 4th week of the 7-week campaign. And then at the end of the 7-week campaign, in the final week, we have our Caribbean Wellness Week. Now, for Caribbean Wellness Week, we have 4 major events that we do for that week. On the Friday, the Friday before the Caribbean Wellness Day, which is the 2nd Saturday of that month, we have what we refer to as our National Sneaker Day. And yes, so we're encouraging persons to don their sneakers on that day and go to work, do some more walking, and even take pictures and put them up on social media of the sneakers you have on for that day. Okay. And then on that Saturday, which is the 14th, we have our Independence Health Walk. Yes, our Independence Health Walk as part of that activity. And then on the 17th...
That's from where to where to where?
Oh, so we generally we go from the ECCB... Sorry, we generally go from the Caribbean Cinemas along the bypass to the ECCB roundabout, and then we go towards the Bay Road, come around, and back up to the cinema. And then on Tuesday, the 17th of September, we have our National Fruit and Vegetable Day. So on that day, again, the nutrition program encourages business places and other organizations to provide a healthy fruit or vegetable snack for their employees. And it's just another opportunity for us to encourage persons to eat more healthy. And then finally, to cap everything off, on the 20th of September, we have our SKN Moves Soca Size to bring everything to a close. Now, SKN Moves, as I said, has been doing a lot in the community, and we do understand that promotion has been one of our challenges. And so you find that sometimes when we speak about it, persons say, well, I've never heard about SKN Moves. But what we found this year is that a lot more persons are catching on to what we are doing, and it's a way for us to engage the community so that they're able to participate in those three pillars, because we feel that those are the three areas of health that would help individuals to maintain a healthy lifestyle and be able to just live longer. Because if you're eating healthily, if you're doing physical activity, and you're getting your health checks for early detection of anything that may be plaguing you, then you're in a better position to live a longer life.
Okay. I'm told that the news is a bit delayed, so we may have a little more latitude. But I'm going to make a commitment and put me down for the sponsor. I'll be sponsoring a primary school competition, Calypso competition, on the topic.
Oh, thank you so very much.
You get the schools involved.
Yes.
They sometimes go home and inform their parents.
Right.
So I'll be sponsoring the winning prize for a junior Calypso competition on the topic for next year.
Okay. Thank you so very much. We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
And you know to reach me, you got my digits.
Yes.
If you want to share any contact information before we
Yes, so
this one now.
In order for persons to register for any of the events that require registration, you can go to the sknmoves.kn website, and there's a pop-up right there that will take you to our calendar of events, so you could see all of the events that we have coming up, as well as there are the posters and the QR codes for the events for registration.
So that's
sknmoves.kn.
Awesome.
Yes. And then also you can contact the Ministry of Health via the Health Promotion Unit at 467-1233, 467-1237, or 467-1234.
Okay.
Right? You could, any of those numbers, you will be able to reach individuals within the Health Promotion Unit who could give you more information.
And just don't forget to connect with SKN Moves on social media. So SKN Moves has a Facebook page, also a WhatsApp channel as well. So that's a really good way to engage with SKN Moves team and find out what's happening, leave your comments, ask us questions. Facebook page, so the Facebook page. So we have a Facebook page, SKN Moves. You just look for it on Facebook. There is the WhatsApp channel. I think there's instructions on Facebook on how to get access to the WhatsApp channel. And then I think there's also the Instagram as well. So look out for SKN Moves on Facebook, on social media as well.
And we also have fitness videos that will be launched for the 5-year anniversary. So just keep in tune with following the page, and you would see
fitness
those videos.
Is are you a physio? You will be part of that?
Fitness in terms of aerobic and
fitness videos.
Yeah.
So these videos were actually sponsored by the ICDF Taiwan technical mission.
Okay.
So they were the ones who provided the opportunity for us to create these videos. They have 10 physical activity videos of a number of different types. So you have strength training, cardiovascular, and in-home
So
activities
the in-home
as
activity
well.
would be doing chair exercise and stuff like
I've
that.
seen them being very popular. The chair exercise. I must say it's for lazy people, but it's for those who
So
at least it gives a chance to get physical, and then you improve your ability, your strength, etc.
Right, so we are looking forward to launching those videos. And persons can contact us via the WhatsApp number 661-6683. So that's our SKN Moves WhatsApp number, 661-6683.
Okay. So it seems that if we've gotten almost all that we've come to present, but we have a little time still. So anyone of you want to speak more to the topic?
Any take-home messages really would be that I think, we have to be more mindful about our health. We have to realize that, we can make very small changes, and those changes can make a big difference. So if you decide I'm just going to eat one more portion of fruit every day, do 10 more minutes of exercise every day, make sure I get my health check done. These are small steps that you can take to improve your health and well-being.
If you can, take off some things that we should not be eating. I don't know if you're a nutritionist, but you're in health, so you'll have some concept. Things that we should not be eating. The pigs now, the 10 dumplings, and you know what I mean? Those days gone, but, salty, fat, and sweet is still destroying a more negative.
And I think that is the way that we should go. Instead of identifying exact foods, quite frankly, any ultra-processed foods should be avoided.
Yes.
So a lot of those foods that come in the cans, because they are very high in sodium, so our canned foods and those packaged or box foods, those are what we refer to as ultra-processed foods.
Yes.
So those should be avoided as much as possible. However, what we would say is, because there are still a lot of individuals who do their own home cooking. So encouraging persons to use less salt in their foods would be one of the ways that we would encourage or educate persons, as well as using less sugar, because there's still a lot of individuals who make their own drinks, especially even those local drinks, just using less sugar.
Just simple changes. Instead of iodine salt, use sea salt.
Exactly.
Which the sea salt has a lot of minerals in it that, the body would use better. So instead of white sugar, use brown sugar.
I have a joke about that.
What
is the color of heroin?
White.
It's cream.
Bad for you.
It's
white sugar.
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah.
White. Bad for you.
Yeah.
I won't continue.
But surely the body needs some salt.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say sea salt. I'm not saying to salt your food, because most people, when they cook, they over salt
I've
their
had
food.
the pushback. Well, I'm not using salt, but it's the seasoning.
Right, which would be the.
And I knew a dietitian who was contacted to assist a certain person. She went to his home. She took the sazon, that have to go. This have to go. That have to go.
Because the MSG and all these
magic.
And that's one
We're
of the
big on magic, and in some countries it's banned.
And that's one of the reasons why, as even part of that same chronic disease self-management program, they teach individuals how to read food labels. Because we find that a lot of persons, they go and they shop and they just pick up because they read the name and they just pick up, right? But reading your labels is very, very important, because right on the label it tells you your sugar content, it tells you your salt content, and these are things that are important for us to know in order for us to make sure that we are not taking in too much of those bad things for us.
I've got to wait some nights to go.
Bless you.
Hey, I'm living video, I'm cute.
I think even with the seasonings, you should read. Even with the seasonings, you should read the ingredients.
Yes.
Because what you'll find is that they'll say there's there's salt, and then there'll be like other bits and pieces in there. So what you want to do is avoid seasonings that already have salt in it, because you're already going to add salt more likely to your food. So
when I did the We
that.
Health Care some years ago, it was because I heard Dr. Martin mention that we in St. Kitts Nevis have the fattest women in the world per capita. So I started doing a song saying, so what, we like it fat. But when I did the research, he was correct. I think I would do We Health Care. And he pointed out the 4 major health things was diabetes, stroke, hypertension, heart failure. And it was based on the introduction of those fast food chains in St. Kitts that we saw the big chain. There's none in Nevis. There are no fast food chains in Nevis. There's none in Anguilla. And there was a former policy that said we won't have them here, but they're here now. And they're packed all the time. And I've watched some of the young people over a period of time as a study. I see them just balloon out. So those are things that we have to address overall, the fast food chains, because they're here and they have a negative impact on people's lifestyle out there. And here in this much smaller demographic, it's more visible.
Yeah, we also have to be concerned about our young people, because we have a very high rate of childhood obesity.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
So we really have to be quite aware of the foods and the lifestyle of our children as well, because obviously children that are obese now, what is going to happen to them in 10 years' time? They're going to be more likely to be obese adults, they're more likely to get hypertension, diabetes, and so we really need to start looking at the health of our children as well.
So you're walking up 4th Street. Someone reads your T-shirt. Sweet enough. You know, the message is there, but you have to explain what it means.
Yeah, we do.
It's a conversation starter, though, because once they do that and you're able to start sharing. Same thing for the SKN Moves shirt. SKN Moves, what is that? So it's a conversation starter, and then by having that conversation with the individual, then you're able to share the information, the education about healthy living, healthy lifestyle, eating well, exercising.
Okay, so what you can do off here, take my number. I'm all thumbs. Text me something. Say this is Abby.
Okay.
And I'll be able to send you by WhatsApp the songs
the song that would be great, so that we can share it. Because I think it's nice to have different engaging ways to educate the public. So if you have a song about obesity, health,
this song is about diabetes.
And
the first time I presented in the tent, I had $50. I said, who can tell me what the song is all about? And the ladies were up front with their interpretation. Women say, well, I have all 3. Yeah, salty, fatty, and sweet. But when I dropped the song, as a matter of fact, I was invited to perform it at some forum. And the preachers who were there, the Christians, they had an attitude. Attitude. But the last verse spoke to diabetes leads to hypertension, stroke, kidney failures, loss of sight. I suggest we take every precaution, now that we have this one chance to get it right. There are people vying to live longer without trying to live healthier, but our longevity is determined mainly by what we eat.
And physical activity.
Metabolizing salty, fatty, and sweet. So if your saltfish is salty, your pork is too fatty, that special pudding you shouldn't eat. But put on this tombstone, here lies the next one, who love to eat salty, fatty. And so the message was then driven home.
Okay.
You know, because we know saltfish and woman cooking saltfish and pork dish and all that. But it was a way to get, as I said, the message across by starting the conversation.
But this is what we need. We need champions like yourself who understand.
They don't play the songs.
They don't?
They're there.
Yeah.
They're there. The real health care.
I think there was a young man last year that did a song around.
To be cancer-free.
Maybe we should have you come and do the song at the expo.
Oh, that's true, at the expo.
To be cancer-free was done some years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And the chorus of that song was, now it's genetically, it used to be rare to hear anybody 30 or under succumb to the scourge of cancer in this land. Now in this part of one generation with blah, blah, blah. But then the course is centered on now is genetically modified food versus organic. They say organic food keep cancer from your door. What is organic? let me tell you, if you don't know it, is the way our farmers grew food before. They didn't use herbicide, pesticide, and they went into the whole, but these songs that we can play to help better educate ourselves.
So Socrates, we need to have you perform these 2 songs
at the expo,
next Friday.
Yeah. So
well,
we will send you.
I did a song in London, but it was written for Lady Diva, and she sang it in competition.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to send it to you, but I have to go and relearn it, put it in a different key for me. I can find it if you know. But I'm salty, fat, and sweet. That's my top favorite.
all right.
So we'll bless you a little more time.
Okay.
If you want to share your contacts and you and yourself, etc.
Okay. I mean, well, I might just quickly talk about Healthy Drinking Week then, maybe, just a bit more detail then. So Healthy Drinking Week is going to be part of, obviously, the 7-week SKN Moves campaign. And that's going to take place from I hope I've got the dates right, the 26th to the 30th of August. And so for that week, we are going to have hopefully a panel discussion where we'll have different stakeholders discussing healthy drinking, promoting safe and healthy drinking habits, exploring the drinking culture in St. Kitts and Nevis, what we can do to ensure that we all drink healthily. We'll be looking both at what the public can do and also what policymakers can do. And now it's time for the news.
It's time for the presentation of the WINNFM's midday newscast. So we want to thank you guys for being here.
Thank
you. Viewers and listeners.
So much for having us.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure, my education actually. We connect on the other side.
Okay. Thank you.
You found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured. Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories.
Long-awaited East Coast Housing Development Smart Affordable Homes project to commence in August. Mental Health Service System Enhancement Project launched in St. Kitts and Nevis. Autopsy results for Lanvie Clark released. Venezuela accuses opposition of attempting to stage a coup following elections. Internationally, UK police officers injured in Southport riot after 3 girls killed in knife attack.
Now the details.
East Coast Housing Development's construction of smart, affordable homes to address the housing in St. Kitts and Nevis will officially kick off in August, according to Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew.
I want to announce that the housing program in earnest is going to kick off fully in August, in just a few weeks. East Coast has set up its office where Sugars is on the Frigate Bay Road, regardless of all these negative things and these fake news or misinformation rather that's going around the country. And that is going to be providing a lot of jobs for our people, as well as the homes for our people as well, in large numbers.
The project, which will be implemented over 4 years, is a part of the government's housing initiative, which promised 2,400 homes. 2 model homes were initially built to be appraised by citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis before proceeding with the bulk of the initiative. The groundbreaking for the model homes took place on Monday, September 18th, 2023, marking the project's official commencement. Construction was initially expected to begin in June 2023, but the groundbreaking ceremony marked the start of the actual construction efforts following extensive planning and groundwork. On Tuesday, March 14th, 2024, East Coast Housing Development officially handed over 2 climate-smart model homes to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis during a ceremony at Connery. At the end of the ceremony, Shamara Huggins received the keys to the climate-smart home at Connery, and Belinda Buchanan received the keys to the Taylor's home. The Smart Homes Initiative, valued at US $227 million, aims to provide affordable housing incorporating modern technology and sustainability features. These homes include solar energy systems and water cisterns to promote environmentally friendly living. The rollout starts with the construction of 600 homes annually, with the expectation that the first phase was expected to be completed by the end of 2023. The plan sought to complete the entire 2,400 home project by 2027, averaging about 600 homes each year. The project encountered construction delays. The National Housing Corporation emphasized the importance of ensuring quality work over rushing the construction process, balancing speed with the potential for issues and repairs in the future. The delays raised questions about the practicality of the timeline as citizens expressed concerns regarding the ambitious target of delivering 2,400 homes by 2027. In response to community apprehensions, officials reassured citizens of the government's commitment to home ownership and economic upliftment through the project. The housing initiative included provisions for providing employment opportunities for local contractors and tradespeople, further stimulating the economy. The housing initiative aims to improve community standards by providing stable living conditions for families in St. Kitts and Nevis with smart, affordable homes. To tackle financial challenges, the government adopted a multifaceted approach. They negotiated financing agreements with East Coast Housing Development Limited to facilitate adequate capital for the project. Additionally, the government explored federal funding opportunities through Community Development Block grants and the Home Investment Partnership Program, which supported affordable housing initiatives. Local contractors played a crucial role in the project, comprising 99% of workforce for the housing development. This approach promises job creation for local skilled workers and aims to enhance their expertise in modern construction techniques using reinforced concrete forms. By involving local labor, the government intends to stimulate the economy and ensure community investment in the project. As the project evolves, stakeholders observe how the ambitions of the East Coast housing development could be met amidst the identified challenges. The project's focus on quality, community engagement, and economic upliftment indicates an effort to provide housing solutions and foster sustainable growth for St. Kitts and Nevis. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of China Taiwan launched the Mental Health Service Systems Enhancement Project. The initiative aims to improve mental health services in the Federation by addressing gaps in prevention, screening, early detection, and treatment of mental health disorders such as anxiety, bipolar disorders, and schizophrenia. The agreement was signed by the Prime Minister and Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, and Resident Ambassador of the Republic of China Taiwan to the Federation, His Excellency Michael Lin. The project will span 3 years and aims to enhance mental health care in St. Kitts and Nevis. The Mental Health Service System Enhancement Project focuses on 4 main objectives: policy development, enhancing policy-making capabilities for mental health prevention and control; capacity building, strengthening the skills of healthcare personnel through local and on-site training in Taiwan; healthcare facility improvement, upgrading mental health care services at health facilities; public awareness, raising public awareness about mental health disorders. Ambassador Lin highlighted the link between physical and mental health and emphasized the importance of the project's educational components, saying, quote, "A society that is well educated about mental health would encourage people to reach out and ask for help when they need it," end quote. The Prime Minister noted the project's importance given the rising number of mental health diagnoses, especially following the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Drew mentioned the government's ongoing investments in mental health services, including hiring more psychologists and family counselors. The Mental Health Service System Enhancement Project, supported by Taiwan's International Cooperation and Development Fund, ICDF, will run until July 2027. It is the 3rd ICDF-supported health initiative in St. Kitts and Nevis, following projects focused on chronic kidney disease prevention and chronic metabolic disease control. The collaboration aims to improve mental health care and increase public awareness of mental health issues in the Federation. On July 30th, 2024, a post-mortem examination of Lanvie Clark, a 66-year-old resident of Cades Bay, Nevis, was conducted by Dr. Nautica Phillip, the resident pathologist at Alexandra Hospital Morgue. The examination determined that Clark's cause of death was mechanical asphyxia, suffocation, due to submersion in water, drowning. The police have indicated that a thorough investigation into the circumstances of Clark's death is ongoing.
In regional news,
Venezuela accuses opposition of attempting to stage a coup following elections. And more from Carib Update.
The United Nations has again called for support to address the ongoing crisis in Haiti. Stefan Dujarric is the spokesperson for the Secretary General.
Over 900 schools are closed in the West and Artibonite departments. That impacts 156,000 young people. In the West Department, which includes the capital Port-au-Prince, 39 schools are currently being used as sites for displaced people, while at least 20 other schools are occupied by various armed groups and gangs. Education cannot wait. The UN's Fund for Education in Emergency and Crisis Situation has allocated $2.5 million to support schooling efforts in the country, notably in the two most impacted departments, West and Artibonite.
Meanwhile, the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs and its humanitarian partners have expressed concerns about the impact of persistent insecurity on access to education in Haiti, with the school year set to start in September.
7 months into this year, the $674 million humanitarian response plan is only 25% funded, with $170 million in the bank.
UN Women, the agency that champions gender equality, recently has said displaced women faced an unprecedented level of insecurity and sexual violence in Haiti. It says that instability in the French-speaking Caribbean country is fueling a spike in sexual violence against women and girls as armed gangs continue their assault on the population. A new report by the agency reveals the dire living conditions and lack of security faced by some 300,000 displaced women and girls amid ongoing political instability, escalating gang violence, and the threat of the current hurricane season. As thousands of people demonstrated across Venezuela, opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez announced on Monday that his campaign has the proof it needs to show he won the country's disputed election, in which electoral authorities named President Nicolas Maduro the victor. Gonzalez and opposition leader Maria Corina Machado told reporters they have obtained more than 70% of tally sheets from Sunday's election, and they show Gonzalez with more than double Maduro's votes. In the capital, the protests were mostly peaceful, but when dozens of riot gear-clad National Police officers blocked the caravan, a brawl broke. Police used tear gas to disperse the protesters, some of whom threw stones and other objects at officers who had stationed themselves on a main avenue of an upper-class district. We have more in this report.
Protests erupted across Venezuela Monday, shortly after sitting President Nicolas Maduro was declared winner in a disputed election. Their results were met with doubt in Washington and beyond, and independent pollsters have called the official numbers implausible. In the Caracas neighborhood of El Valle and the city of Maracay, police fired tear gas while protesters blocked roads. A large statue of late President Hugo Chavez, a mentor to Maduro, was torn down in the city of Coro. And in the pro-government stronghold of Katia, there was a traditional cacerolazo protest, banging pots and pans.
I came to the street. We want freedom. We're tired of this government. We want to change. We want to be free in Venezuela. We want our families to return here. We don't want them to leave anymore. We want to be free with our families.
The United States in 2018 called Maduro's re-election at that time to be fraudulent. His most recent win cements his third term in office and extends the Socialist Party's 25-year rule. Throughout the years, Maduro has presided over an economic collapse, the migration of about a third of the population, and sanctions imposed by the U.S. The Venezuelan Electoral Authority said Maduro won 51% of the vote on Sunday, but independent pollsters say it was a decisive win for opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez. Gonzalez has repeatedly warned against bloodshed. However, on TV Monday morning, Maduro claimed paid agitators assaulted electoral agency officers.
We are familiar with this movie, and we know how to face these situations and how to defeat the violent.
Shortly after the results of Sunday's election were announced, opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said the opposition won 73.2% of the voting tallies. Maduro's rival, the former diplomat Gonzalez, spoke to an audience.
We have in our hands the tallies that demonstrate our categorical and mathematically irreversible victory.
The opposition's numbers are sharply different to the country's electoral commission, which called the election for Maduro with 51% of the vote. Machado called on supporters to gather in front of UN offices in Caracas on Tuesday, while Maduro's campaign manager has called on their supporters to march Tuesday as well. Venezuela's defense minister has warned against allowing a repeat of the, quote, terrible situations of 2014, 2017, and 2019. In those years, anti-government protesters took to the streets and hundreds were killed.
Meanwhile, Venezuela was bracing for more protests.
If toppled statues of his mentor, the late Hugo Chavez, is how you measured political demise in Venezuela, President Nicolas Maduro would be worried. It's not, though. Not yet. Yesterday, crowds came out onto the streets in cities and towns across Venezuela, echoing calls by the opposition and many in the international community that the weekend's election results were not transparent. What was striking, the thousands who came into the capital Caracas on motorbikes from the surrounding slums, objecting to another 6 years of Maduro's brand of socialism.
We're tired of Maduro, tired of being whipped. The Batar neighborhood is here, Maduro. We came for you.
23-year-old Serrano spoke for people who'd had enough of an economy in freefall and mass emigration. Almost a fifth of the population has left during Maduro's 11 years in power.
We're fed up. I've spent 23 years living under this government. It's always been the same. Enough is enough. I want a future for my daughter. I haven't been able to study. I can't go to college because I had to work.
Over the weekend, Maduro claimed victory in a third term as president after the contested results, threw his sunglasses into the crowd. The country's election authority, headed by a Maduro ally, had called it for the boss. The opposition, though, said they hadn't been given the paper tallies they needed to confirm electronic results. 24 hours later, Maduro's demeanour less sunny, framed the demonstrations as orchestrated by elements on the far right.
We've been following all the acts of violence promoted by the extreme right. I can tell the people of Venezuela that if they have done harm, we are acting. We already know how this movie ends. So once more, along with the civil, military and police, we are acting.
In reality, Maduro miscalculated the extent to which the opposition would rally around this woman, Maria Corina Machado, and the opposition presidential candidate, Edmundo Gonzalez. Machado has modelled herself on Margaret Thatcher, wants to privatise Venezuela's oil business. Her rallies, almost religious experiences, draped in rosary beads, promises to bring Venezuela's migrants home and reunite families. Iron Lady meets Virgin Mary. Venezuela is in electoral deadlock. What to look out for in the next 48 hours? Whose side will the military come down on? And will behind-the-scenes negotiations give Maduro a face-saving exit ramp?
The U.S. has been in negotiations with Maduro directly for months. Those are negotiations that are being mediated by Qatar. What I think a lot of people are trying to work quietly right now, it's an exit strategy which would allow Maduro to save face, but also allow a transition given some guarantees. Chavistas need to know that they're not going to be persecuted immediately if they're going to leave power. Otherwise, why would they leave?
The other scenario is that Maduro doubles down, starts turning the screw even more on opposition, and opens the door to the nightmare where it's not just politicians' posters on fire.
Venezuela's Deputy Foreign Minister Raul Licausi says the defeated opposition in his country is seeking to delve into what he called an old playbook to destabilize the government after it lost Sunday's vote. Caracas has said that opposition forces are this hour trying to engineer what it called a fascist coup. Licausi tells WPG-10 News there is what he calls a coordinated attempt in the wake of the elections to create chaos. Licausi, who is also a special ambassador to CARICOM, said the Venezuela opposition has resorted to telling lies about the process. The Venezuelan official said in St. George's on Tuesday there is need by everyone in and out of Venezuela to respect his country's electoral process. Likausi called for a show of solidarity from the Caribbean region to condemn any attempts at violence. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has commended people of Venezuela for their determination to express their will peacefully through the ballot box. Speaking with journalists at UN headquarters on Monday, UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric said they have taken note of the announcement made by the electoral authorities, as well as the concerns expressed by political actors and members of the international community.
The Secretary General calls for complete transparency and encourages the timely publication of the election results and a breakdown by polling stations. The Secretary General trusts that all electoral disputes will be addressed and resolved peacefully and calls on all Venezuelan political leaders and their supporters for moderation. He recalls that electoral authorities should undertake their work independently and without interference to guarantee the free expression of the will of the electorate.
Dujarric also said that an update from the UN panel of electoral experts who were deployed to Venezuela ahead of the vote with a task to produce an independent internal report on the overall conduct of the elections will submit their report during the coming week.
We now bring you these international reports.
Now, though, to Southport, and hundreds of people have attended a vigil to pay tribute to the 3 girls who were killed there in a knife attack at a children's dance workshop. Just hours later, violent clashes broke out close to where the girls were stabbed to death. 39 police officers were injured, with 27 needing hospital treatment. Merseyside police described the violence as sickening, and the Prime Minister warned that the rioters would feel the full force of the law. Let's speak to my colleague Nikki Schiller there.
Tony, who is a local resident. And Tony, you brought your own broom down this morning, didn't you?
Like most people have done. What we've witnessed here is extraordinary. What we've seen in Southport over the last 48, 3 days or so. We've seen the horror, which we don't want to talk about. And then we've seen a situation last night. We had the vigil where thousands of us got together in front of Lord Street to show heart, compassion and unity, community spirit. And then we had this incident last night, and it's up to the police to determine who caused it, what caused it, but the mosque, as you see, was attacked. Whole areas, people's cars were set alight, the damage is enormous. But the most essential thing is that the community came down here this morning, contractors came here from all over the place, landscapers, motorway contractors. And now we've seen at what time, it's probably about 9:15, 9:20, where this horrible thing happened last night, it's been cleaned away because the community have done that. And that's the most important thing we need to get across, is that no matter what happens in Southport, as a community, we will pull together and we will, we'll drive ourselves forward. It's a fantastic town, it really is. And we have proven to the world what we can do and how we can pull together.
When I arrived here, there was rubble everywhere, and there were JCBs having to pick up that amount of rubble. And then we're talking a couple of hours, and it's clear.
In fact, there was a big skip there, remember rightly, when we got here. But people were here from 6 o'clock this morning. I personally tried to get here for 7:30, but it just shows you what's happened, and also how the local people have been into the mosque and spoken to the Muslim community here, to show unity with them, because there's no room in Southport for this kind of thing. And although it's totally circumspect at the moment, we totally believe as a community this was not done by people from Southport. They came from somewhere else. It's up to the police to determine that.
Yes, well, the Police and Crime Commissioner has said that they're from out of town. The local MP has called them thugs from out of town who have disrespected the families who have lost.
And you've got to remember something else, is that our ambulance services, the ambulance services that came here last night, the police that were here last night were probably the same people who had to deal with the horror on Monday. Now you think about that, the police and the ambulance service who've done so well to coping with an awful situation, because they probably are the same people that had to deal with this last night.
What did you make of the vigil last night?
It was very moving indeed. We had 1 minute silence, and it's usual to get silence on Lord Street. But the faith communities came together, the people came together, there were families there, you know, and people laying flowers, laying balloons, putting cards there. Again, it showed the strength of Southport as a community. It really did. There was a real sense of unity and love. And that's what this town's about. It really is.
It is, and we said this yesterday, a quiet seaside town.
Yeah, very much so.
How is it going to recover from those horrific events on Monday?
I think that in terms of the leisure, I mean, obviously you can speak to Norman Wallace, but in terms of the leisure community and hospitality community, this could be very potentially damaging, because we have a situation where we're trying to promote Southport as a family resort, as a seaside resort, and this kind of incident, or these kind of incidents, have obviously going to have a tremendous impact on the image of the town. And what we've got to do as a town is that we've got to try and get together and show that this is what Southport's really about. It's a fantastic town, it's a lovely town to visit, and it's a real fantastic sense of community as well.
Are you concerned that there could be more violence? The police have got orders in to prevent antisocial behaviour and be able to question people. Is there a concern that there might be further violence?
I think that what's happened over the last few days has created a sense of, yes, a sense of tension and a sense of, what happened. I think the whole town is still trying to recover from what happened on Monday, and now, of course, with this kind of thing. But yeah, I suppose many of the people, holidaymakers, probably are thinking, are we going to go to Southport? And I think if you speak to Norman Wallace, he'll explain that a little bit further. But yeah, all we've got to do is cross our fingers, hope. Like I say, as a community, we can keep our ears open. If we know of anything that's potentially going to happen, then obviously notify the police, and obviously we've got our new MP, Patrick Hurley, speak to him and see if he can, again, sort of lead the community with it.
OK, Tony, thank you very much. Samantha, when I was here earlier, a gentleman who was here had come from Manchester because he had wanted to help clear up. People are still out with their brooms and their buckets and spades trying to get this area back to normal. The street is been cleared, and when I arrived this morning, there was rubble all along this street where those thugs last night, as the local MP called them, had taken people's walls and were using those bricks to attack the officers last night. Now, as we said, there were around 39 officers who were taken to hospital, and the police have, of course, condemned the violence, and they have got these orders in place so that they can hopefully prevent any people getting into this area again. And as I said, it is literally a 5-minute walk away from where that mass stabbing happened on Monday. And we were talking to Tony there about the vigil that took place last night, which was in the town centre. And I was there, and it was very emotional. There was a minute's silence where everyone fell silent. There were people hugging each other, and you noticed that parents who had brought their children there were maybe hugging them just that little bit tighter, because this community is trying to come to terms with what happened. And they have that question, why? And we don't know the answer at the moment because, of course, the police investigation continues. We do know that a 17-year-old boy is in police custody, and he has been arrested on suspicion of murder and attempted murder, and that investigation continuing, Samantha. And what Tony was saying, the community is really just trying to get together to show the community spirit, supporting the families who were involved in that horrific incident.
Former BBC News presenter Hugh Edwards has pleaded guilty at Westminster Magistrates Court to 3 counts of making indecent images of children. The offences took place between 2020 and 2022. They relate to 37 images that were shared on a WhatsApp chat, according to the Metropolitan Police. The broadcaster, former BBC presenter Hugh Edwards, has pleaded guilty at Westminster Magistrates Court to 3 counts of making indecent images of children. Our correspondent Seema Katecha is at the court for us. Seema, what happened in court?
Yeah, so it was a very brief appearance, as expected. Magistrate court's appearances usually are. It took only a matter of minutes. He stood up to confirm his name, his address, his date of birth, and then he pleaded guilty to all 3 charges of creating indecent images of children. So he was accused of creating more than 35 images of children, indecent images. At least 6 were said to be of category A. That is the most extreme level of images, so very severe. And as we said, he walked in around an hour ago, came around this corner to my right-hand side, flanked by police officers wearing a dark blue suit, a blue tie and sunglasses, walked over surrounded by photographers who were desperate to get a picture of him. And as he walked round, he was led in through the doors behind me. And as I just said, confirmation there that he has pleaded guilty to those 3 charges. I mean, this is going to send shockwaves in the media world and beyond to fans who've watched Hugh Edwards for years, anchoring the 10 o'clock news, leading coverage on very significant events such as the Queen's funeral, the coronation of the King. He also presented election programmes, taking over from David Dimbleby in 2019. And now he is a convicted criminal who has admitted serious offences of making indecent images of children. And as I said, I think those who've been watching him for years will find this news perhaps shocking and upsetting. It's not something many will.
Former BBC News presenter Hugh Edwards has pleaded guilty at Westminster Magistrates Court to 3 counts of making indecent images of children. The offences took place between 2020 and 2022. They relate to 37 images that were shared on a WhatsApp chat, according to the Metropolitan Police. The broadcaster, former BBC presenter Hugh Edwards, has pleaded guilty at Westminster Magistrates Court to 3 counts of making indecent images of children. Our correspondent Seema Katecha is at the court for us. Seema, what happened in court?
Yeah, so it was a very brief appearance, as expected. Magistrate court's appearances usually are. It took only a matter of minutes. He stood up to confirm his name, his address, his date of birth, and then he pleaded guilty to all 3 charges of creating indecent images of children. So he was accused of creating more than 35 images of children, indecent images. At least 6 were said to be of category A. That is the most extreme level of images, so very severe. And as we said, he walked in around an hour ago, came around this corner to my right-hand side, flanked by police officers wearing a dark blue suit, a blue tie and sunglasses, walked over surrounded by photographers who were desperate to get a picture of him. And as he walked round, he was led in through the doors behind me. And as I just said, confirmation there that he has pleaded guilty to those 3 charges. I mean, this is going to send shockwaves in the media world and beyond to fans who've watched Hugh Edwards for years, anchoring the 10 o'clock news, leading coverage on very significant events such as the Queen's funeral, the coronation of the King. He also presented election programmes, taking over from David Dimbleby in 2019. And now he is a convicted criminal who has admitted serious offences of making indecent images of children. And as I said, I think those who've been watching him for years will find this news perhaps shocking and upsetting. It's not something many will.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines?
Long-awaited East Coast Housing Development Smart Affordable Homes project to commence in August. Mental Health Service System Enhancement Project launched in St. Kitts and Nevis. Autopsy results for Lanvie Clark released. Venezuela accuses opposition of attempting to stage a coup following elections. Internationally, UK police officers injured in Southport riot after 3 girls killed in knife attack.
Thank you for listening.
Found the South 98.9 FM.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king. Please drink responsibly. WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Hey, good afternoon to our viewers and listeners. Welcome to the second half of today's presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates. It's just about 6 minutes moving up on the 1 o'clock hour. We have a delay. We've had a delay in the midday news presentation. We apologize for that, but I'll just say the band plays on. So I'm sitting here for the next, I would say, 33 minutes or so. And the lines are open for any form of interaction, discussions. But I want to read something that I got this morning in my mail just for a bit of feedback if anyone cares to weigh in on this. And it reads, PM, the Honorable Terence Drew should explain to the nation why such a stark difference between what he campaigned on and promised when he said that PAP will be increased to as much as $1,500 now. Disbanding the PAP altogether and offering benefits as low as $250, which is half of what was being offered by Team Unity when he launched the PAP. Further to the PAP, beneficiaries was cut. Further to, the PAP beneficiaries were cut by over 75%, and now less than 300 persons are benefiting from LIFT, now down to 7,500 plus with PAP. And we have feedback to this. Dennis Petra Libert, she writes, the poor boy from Monkey Hill should understand what it's like to be poor. But he's now moved up to the hills like George Jefferson. Sadly, he no longer cares. Continues. My good friend in New York, she writes, I'm waiting for the victim shaming as usual. One Buchanan writes, as we she vote for, what she vote for, she lucky they got lift because all of that they campaigned against. Lady Miss Clark, she wrote, well, so sorry for poor people. Sylvia Ward wrote, there's always two sides to every story and then the truth. Right? And let me see, Mr. Dickinson writes, me ain't hear one word about the father of fathers, but it's government fault. You can't take care of your children. She knew damn well that she was incapable of providing for her children before she conceived. I'm just reading this. I want to hear what all the father of fathers is paying for, if any. Want to hear what the fathers are paying, if any. And Robertson writes, it is a lift, not a flight, okay? So $250 it is. No empty at all. No empathy at all. No empathy, sorry, at all. Mr. Powell questions. He says, no empathy at all. Lady Esdell writes, governments give themselves a very big salary. And I don't see what they did along with all the, that should be, it spells pokes, they're getting. Could they imagine what some of us going through to get by with small salaries? Some people is really having a hard time. No fault of theirs, but things are getting worse and worse. Some people cup running over. Mr. Thompson writes, the email says some people qualify for $250. So I guess some still qualify for $500. Anybody know how much the PAP or LIFT program does pay their citizens in Antigua or in St. Lucia or Barbados? Are we the only country where the peace program and LIFT abounds? If so, why is that so? Is that the legacy of Scheme Unity? Maybe intentionally they wrote Scheme Unity, but we knew it as Team Unity. But I read that actually because I wanted to gauge the feedback of those who are defending this and those who are saying that people were promised, etc., just for the sake of conversation. We're not doing the campaign season, as is normally called the silly season. Lots of promises are made from the various parties on the various platforms. And some governments, when they get in, they follow through on the promises. Some administrations don't. And the public is left to weigh in on the performance of the various governments in terms of the promises they would have kept, the promises they would have reneged on, and so on and so forth. So I read this and I smiled because I'm very defensive of the government's position. And one person questioned, what are the fathers doing? What Nobody's questioning what the fathers are doing. For my 10-cent piece, this has nothing to do with the fathers, who must honor their commitment. This goes to what was promised, what the expectations were. And if things can't be delivered, there has to be an explanation, some conversation as to why and the where's not. But the person said they waited until the day, just the day before the money was to be paid, only to be told that, hey, you're not getting the 500 anymore, you're getting 250. Huh? So therefore, let me read that again, and then we go on. This was sent to me by a very frustrated young mother from St. Kitts who voted for Labour. Good morning, the BBB, this letter. This Labour government, no easy. They wait until the day before the lift benefit to be paid. I'm just reading what it says. To pay, to send an email telling you, effective July 2024, they make an adjustment to your lift payment to $250 from $500 to $250. Some depended on the money to help pay their rent and bills, and with no early notice, they just drop it on them like that. I have a friend with 6 children, and she worked for minimum wages. She said the little help used to come in so good to help pay she rent, to keep the roof over she children head, and buy groceries, and now they're telling her she will only be getting $250. She say now school things to buy. This is how they're doing people. So there's that, and then the feedback, especially the person who questioned the role of the fathers. What are the fathers doing? Excuse me, guys. What did the father or fathers doing? So I mentioned that there are people who are defensive when it comes to people trying to hold governments or administrations accountable based on the promises they would have made during the campaign or silly season. Blessed are those who are not dependent on any promises made by any administration during the campaign season. It's your duty to vote. But if your vote is predicated on receiving assistance or something promised to you, when that promise is not delivered, you have a right to speak your mind. But over the many years, I have seen a culture of dependency on politicians who actually exploit that mindset. Once you vote for me, I will do this. And people vote on that premise. Sadly, the poke barrel politics always have negative results at the end of it. Okay, let's take this call, see what they have to contribute. Good day, caller, live on Voices.
Good day, Socrates.
Yes, sir. Good day. How art thou?
Blessed in Jesus' name and greetings in Jesus' name to everyone.
Okay, have a little snivel, so if you hear me sounding funny, that's me. So don't worry about it. All right.
No problem. No problem. I was about to say Jesus Christ is the only Savior of all his elect chosen sinners, to save them from their sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity.
Sorry for interrupting you. Amen to that.
No, Socrates.
Yes, sir.
Like I always keep on saying, when we don't do things the Bible way, we suffer as a result. And that includes when we don't do government the Bible way, when we don't do economics and politics the Bible way, when we don't do church the Bible way, family the Bible way, and so on. We suffer. And we are destroyed because of the lack of knowledge according to the Bible. Now, this thing about government providing social net. Now, I'm not condemning anybody who are in such an impoverished situation that if they go and take whatever from the government I'm not condemning anybody for doing that because our governments over the years, including this one today and all the others in the past, have impoverished the people so much that they have made them to be very dependent.
You mean intentionally impoverish the peoples to make them dependent?
Well, I won't rule out intentionally, but whether it is intentional or unintentional, the result is the same. The result is the same. The people have become impoverished because of their policies, and so many people have become impoverished to such a degree that I won't condemn anyone who is that impoverished to be taking things from the government. But if you take things from the government or not, still work to change society to a biblical one where you will not need the government to provide for you, but that you'll be able to most comfortably support you and your family, no matter how poor you are, very comfortably.
Okay.
That is what I should be fighting.
Hear me.
They're taking anything from government or not.
Hear me.
No. Huh?
Here's a question. What about a young lady who finds herself, let me use that phrase loosely, with 6 children? She has a secondary education. She's probably about 35, 40, but she has 6 children. The father is more or less absentee. Would you say that the government, any government policy cause her to be impoverished?
Yes.
Let's hear your take on that.
The government policies have made a situation even worse and more pitiful and miserable and terrible.
And made her situation worse.
Yes.
So she has no responsibility for herself and her children.
Repeat?
So she has no responsibility for herself and her children. You have a secondary education, but you find yourself with about 6 children and absentee fathers. Right? You reach out to the government for help. They help you where they can. But you're saying that government would have made her or people like her impoverished.
Because of government policies that have impoverished us so much more. That woman who you're speaking about, her situation is even made worse by government policies that keep the cost of living very high. If the government was doing what it was supposed to do according to the Bible, the cost of living would have been a whole lot lower, and she would have been able to feed her children them easier. But because government policies have contributed very much to the high increase and continual increase in the cost of living, if you're done poor, that situation only, that continuing rise in the cost of living.
But she also, in this specific thing, she contributes largely to her situation, her economic situation.
Yes, she has. But what I'm saying, it is compounded by bad and biblical government policies. It is compounded, but not that she has contributed. She should have, for example, followed the Bible. Well, most women who are in such situation is because they didn't follow the Bible advice in how to choose your husband. A lot of them just sell for fornication and that sort of stuff, which contributed to their bad and miserable situation. But what I'm saying is that government policies has also compounded the situation with the increase in the cost of living continually. So both of them cannot be excused.
Okay.
Both of them cannot be excused.
What
I'm saying?
What of the conversation whereas the PAP was paying $500 monthly, and Dr. Drew campaigned that he will pay $1,500, and people in their desperation or whatever, they thought, well, okay, let me like the dog on the bone thing, let me grab at this bigger bone. Now to find out that they've reduced the numbers of recipients. They've reduced, well, they've not paid the $1,500 as promised, but not only gone from the $500 that was there, but to $250. She's got 6 children, right? She would have put herself in that situation, right? But now becoming dependent on the system from the government. So somebody's asking, where are the fathers? I'm not hearing about the father's contribution. So it cut both ways.
Yeah, but you see, like I said, most women, the vast majority of women, end up in those such situations because they're disobedient to the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
They listen to the Bible as to how to choose your marital partner in life, and a lot of them just settle for living in fornication. And so it really boils down to a lot of it boils down to, and the biggest blame I would say, boils down to women just not following the wisdom of the Bible. And what the Bible says, the Bible says, stripes are for the backs of a fool. Because when we don't listen to the Bible, we are playing the fool, we are acting the fool. So that's why a lot of women end up in these situations with these not good men, because they disobey the Bible and ignore its wisdom. And like I always say, we ignore and disobey the Bible to our destruction and ruin. But nevertheless, that doesn't excuse the government that they also have compound people's miserable situation by doing that which increases the cost of living and thus making people more and more dependent on government as slaves of government. And that is not good either.
Give me an example. Give me an example, if you can, of the government itself, apart from increasing taxes. Give me an example of them increasing the cost of living.
Well, like you correctly say, increasing taxes. But let me also say this as well. When people don't jump up to the government-provided entertainment like music festival, carnivals, and that sort of stuff, and the other sort of entertainment, those things were provided by government at a cost, and very high cost. And so when the bills come home to pay, government had to find the money to pay them. And so as the expenses piles up on the government, you know what's going to happen? Government going to have to take money from this program. They're going to have to take money from that program.
Sell more passports.
Take money from the other program to pay towards the bills that are piling up on them. And people don't realize this. When they jump up to these government-provided entertainment, there's a cost to it that you have to pay later on. And what you're getting in programs going to decrease as they're going to need more and more money from here, there, and everywhere to pay the bills.
I just thought it would be an important topic just to hear from the various persons in the society. So the phone lines are open. Anybody? We don't have any caller. That is why you're still on. Just to get feedback from people on their take on this issue.
Yeah, and so Socrates.
Yep.
And when somebody else come, you could just let me know and I go off.
Fair enough.
But the main thing, Socrates, as I always say, okay. And people can hear it, but as I always say, disobeying the Bible and not doing things according to the Bible comes at a very high cost to us, to our destruction and ruin. And for example, government, the election system, the evil, wicked, ungodly election system that have, and which I will argue, based upon the Bible, there is a sin to participate in it.
In elections?
Yes, as it is right now. But because it causes division, it causes unbiblical division. Even in churches, it causes division because of the ungodly nature of our election system, and it's sinful to participate in it. But what I'm going to say is this. To get elected in the election system we have now, you have to be promising to give the people this, give the people that, give them this, give them that, give them all kinds of...
So when will the people learn?
Elected? Hello?
When will the people take accountability of their situation and learn? Are you saying that you must willingly allow yourself to be fooled every election cycle?
If you don't know better, you're very easy to fool. And to
so then it's the people's fault.
Well, but that is how the election system plays upon the people, the ignorance. And so they vote who gonna give them who promise them the more Santa Claus goodies.
I see.
And with all due respect, if the politicians was to fulfill all of the promises, it would bankrupt the country because we are already a broke nation, you know. Because there is no way our national debt is sustainable. It's not sustainable. And we're digging deeper holes to cover another hole that is not so deep in order to pay bills. Nationally speaking, with national debt and so on is concerned. Our national debt is not sustainable.
I would just like to get some more views on this situation because the ideal situation is not to let yourself be maneuvered into a corner where you become dependent on other persons. You have not everybody gets out of school as academics. There are those with other skills, but you would have seen your parents and other persons who find themselves in similar situations. In today's day and age, to be having X amount of children, I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm saying the reality, when you have just a secondary education, you are on a minimum wage job, so you become dependent now on a government promise, and you're expecting 500, but you're told you're only giving 250. And people cussing the government, some are saying with the fathers, is a good discussion to have. Right?
Socrates,
yep.
It is a good discussion, but as the Bible says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And because they lack knowledge, they choose the wrong set of people. They choose the wrong things in life. They choose pen and so on over the knowledge of the Bible. And so such people are easy to control. Such people fall in lifestyle that is very detrimental and ruinous.
It's just unfortunate though, because some people are going through some really hard times. The cost of food items, the cost of Pampers. I'm just thinking, really, this is really prohibitive. But I understand persons who are in that situation and need help. So if 1,500 was promised, and you hang your hat on that, but you're not only getting 250 now, as according to the person with very short notification, you'll be concerned, and that's understating the situation.
You see, like I said, I'm not condemning anybody because of their impoverishment. A lot of it, I would say a lot of it is because of their sinful lifestyle, But government anti-biblical sinful policies also compounds the misery of poverty in the country. And like I'm saying, is that one, people need to learn that, hey, if you do not have the wisdom of the scriptures, you're only making the situation worse.
So before we go to a break, your solution is to just revert to the Bible principles, teaching, adhere to that, and you're good to go?
That is where the wisdom is.
Okay.
And I'm saying that for government to implement the right policies. That is for women to choosing the correct husband and proper husbands. That is for churches. That is for me. It is for you. It is for all of society, so that we can be a society of wisdom, because if we ain't, then we are rejecting and disobeying about to our own detriment, ruin, destruction, and undoing.
Okay, once again, we've had it from the pulpit of Jeffrey. Thank you, as usual, for your contribution and your insight. Okay, we'll take a station break now and get back to the next 20 minutes or so before we end today's presentation. See you in there.
Hey there, summer lovers. Ready to make your summer unforgettable? Oh, yeah. Get down to Horsford's Building in Neva Center, something summer special, where the heat is on with a sizzling 25% off select items. Fire up the fun with top-notch barbecue grills, perfect for those backyard cookouts. Dive into savings on swimming goggles, coolers, and inflatable and mini pools. Keep your drinks icy and your days splashy. Relax in style with our comfy summer chairs or float away on our luxurious floating waterbeds. And don't miss out on our premium gas grills for the ultimate grilling experience. All this and so much more. Head to Horsford's Building in Neva Center, something summer specials today, and catch these hot deals before they're gone. Something Summer Specials, your one-stop shop for summer fun. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials. Running July 25th to August 7th. Now our Value Club Blue Tank specials. Nutella hazelnut spread, just $13.99. Essential everyday chicken and beef broth, $8.99. Almond breeze, almond milk, $16.99. Essential everyday fries and hash brown patties, $15.79. Essential everyday frozen fruit, just $16.99. Essential everyday napkins, just $12.99. And now our very low weekly
value deals. Essential everyday ketchup, $4.99. Essential everyday mayonnaise, $19.99. Kool-Aid jammers, $13.99. Pedigree canned dog food, $10.49. The Colgate toothpaste, $7.99. Dial soap, $11.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
At 1:21, it means we have 9 minutes to go before close of play today. And the call on the line, we go straight to the phone lines. Good day, call you live on Voices.
Hello.
Yes, you're live on Voices.
Yeah, good afternoon, the King.
Long time to hear you on. What's going on with you?
I've been trying all but you know what the recording saying? The person here is busy.
Okay,
so I want to know if there isn't another button. When they see the button blinking, that means somebody wants to get in. Don't waste no time with people coming out with the same thing every day.
But here's what culture. Here's what I asked the engineer if there are other calls on the line. If there are, I take the call. I did ask. He said there was none. So I don't know what the issue is.
Well, the problem is the telephone in there.
Okay.
Because I've been calling, and the answering machine coming on saying this person here is busy.
Okay, they'll have to sort it out. But we apologize for that. But let's hear you. What's up?
Yeah, let me go here. Now, I disagree with the caller, some of the things I say.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only politicians, but a person who wants to take part in certain things, you have to have some kind of knowledge before you open your mouth and make big promises. You got to look down the road and see if this thing could be possible, if it is possible, before you make certain statements. And they make that statement because of the money that was there in the treasury from the former administration. That's why Dr. Joe could say, well, he's going to raise it from 500 to 1,500. He answered from 5 to 10 or 5 to 7.
For those who don't know, we're talking about the Poverty Alleviation Program, the PAP.
Yes.
Right? And $500 are being paid by the former administration of Dr. Timothy Harris, $500 monthly. During the campaign, Dr. Drew said he would increase it to $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What has happened since then, the amount of persons on the program has been reduced. They've taken off quite a few. They reviewed, took it off quite a few. And they continued, as far as I know, to pay the $500. Now, this person says just before they were due to pay this month's installment, which is now called LIFT. They're gone from PAP to LIFT. Just before they were to receive their monthly installment of $500, they were told it's now reduced to $250. And so, in putting it up there, you've had various feedback. Some people blaming the woman. Some people asking where the fathers. She's not hearing what the fathers are doing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And some saying more or less, well, let her take that. So it's just a very interesting topic I decided to just introduce to hear the public's.
Let me come in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. They can't put all the blame on the fathers because where the animals see the grass look greener, they're going to try to get over there to eat the grass. The money was offered for $1,500. That's why everybody said, well, okay, everybody gravitate to it. They say, well, okay, that is more than the 5. Let me go for it. And life has a lot of gamble in it. That's why people just go and buy lottery ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Because the lottery ticket enable them to get more money than they have in the hand or the pocket. Or they work.
But we know the story of the dog on the bone, right? That's what happened.
Yeah. That's what happens. So therefore, when people move from the 500 and say, boy, he said 15, let me see if I get some of that. And that is wrong to fool people. That is why you see them big thump. What those people getting up in the Middle East and all over the place in the back. Some big thump. Boom, boom. It's going to trickle down here. It's going to trickle down. But anyway, let me move and let somebody else get a chance because other people want to get in, and I don't like to hug up the phone.
I understand. Appreciate that.
Are marathoners when they get on phone.
But the last caller did ask. He said if there are other callers, he would So we have to appreciate that. It's a communication issue.
He could do like me. He could say, "Let me move, let somebody else get in."
Okay, culture.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for your consideration. At the end of the calls, no call on the line at the moment. So we got about 5 minutes to go, and yes, this is the situation. I want us to be able to view it from all sides, not come out condemning the persons who have obligations and were more or less expecting it. If it's promise, is what people are looking for. If you can't deliver, say something. But for the persons who are coming out and defending the government, bashing the persons who are complaining or airing their concerns, and then blaming them, now, one would say, rationally, why you go and get X amount of children? You can't be that judgmental. But one, at the same time, has to be careful in planning their family, their life, their outlook. You just can't be willy-nilly, and then when you find yourself in that situation, be depending on handouts. You have to create opportunities for yourself. Look at the example set around you. There are people who decide to forego having children until they can actually afford to maintain themselves. The school program, prior to the opening of school, assists you with uniforms, books, etc., to a certain amount, and then you have to fend for yourself. So as the person said, school's about to reopen, and this person was dependent on that particular check of $500 to assist herself and the children, only to be told, well, with short notice, based on what was written, that is going to be $250. That, of course, would cause anybody to express concerns, bitterness, anger, etc. But for the persons who are reacting to this, you must temper your response or your action to this with a little empathy, because not everybody should be just condemned outright. Oh, you depend on the government to have the children, father, blah, blah, blah. We need to be kinder to each other. We need to be more understanding. We need to be more forgiving. As somebody said, well, she vote for it, let's you take that. We understand that sentiment, right? But we can be better than that, right? I would hope that whoever made the promises, whatever the situation is, speak to people. Speak to people so they can better understand what is happening. And try to create or assist them in getting on pathways where they can better fend for themselves. Can't ignore people. If a promise was made and people gravitated to that, voted for you because of that, and things change. And somebody has mentioned that they gave themselves this huge increase. There was a song that they wrote last year. It was funny. He said that labor ministers can't survive on the labor. So as a result, they gave themselves an increase. So if you as a government minister or whatever function are getting such a salary and still see the need for an increase in your monthly salary, you must reach out and understand the plight of the less fortunate in our societies. 29 minutes past, and I want to wish each and every one of you, our viewers and listeners, especially within the Federation or the Caribbean region, be mindful that we're still in the hurricane season. We've had weather forecasts of rain, thunder, lightning, and people are concerned. Some are saying, no problem, we're blessed. That's okay. For those who are observing the 1st of August, that's tomorrow, it marks our emancipation anniversary. It was on the 1st of August in 1834 that the Emancipation Proclamation was read up at the Golden Rock Sugar Plantation. That was the location where it was read here in St. Kitts. And so those who still want to celebrate and observe, please be happy in doing so. It's now 1:30. We've come to the end of today's presentation of Voices. I want to send special greetings of the Tobago Sugar and to Miss Brenda O'Neill, who sent a message to tell me I'll get better soon. She saw me with my handkerchief here. I have a bit of a thingy. I got wet at the wrong place at the wrong time, but it's all good. So until Friday morning, we want to wish our friends, our viewers, our listeners around the world peace, love, and a much, much brighter tomorrow.
Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get